Hello, everyone. Welcome. In this video, we will look at Chapter 9, multiple choice questions. First question. A class represents an entity in the real world that can be distinctly identified. No, this is an object. So what is a template that defines objects of the same type? And that's a class. An object is an instance of a class. The keyword class is required to define a class. Next question. If testcircle.java in listing 9.1 is compiled successfully, testcircle.class is created. So this listing 9.1 testcircle.java has two classes. One is the testcircle class, the other one is the circle class. So they're both created if the code is compiled successfully. Next question. A constructor is invoked to create an object. So that's A. Which of the following statements are true? Multiple constructors can be defined in a class. That is true. Constructors do not have a return type, not even void. That's true. Constructors must have the same name as the class itself. Case sensitive. True. Constructors are invoked using the new operator when an object is created. That's also true. Next question. Analyze the following code. So this is the code here. Temp class. So see the problem here. It's now not a constructor. It's becomes just a method. So when you use this new class 2, and there's no such constructor. So this is going to have a compile error. The program has a compile error because temp class does not have a default constructor. That's not the issue. The program has compile error because temp class does not have a constructor with an int argument. That's right. And you need to remove a void in order to have this constructor with the int argument. This is not a constructor. Next question. Which of the following statements are true? A default constructor is provided automatically if no constructors are explicitly defined in the class. That's true. At least one constructor must always be defined explicitly. No. Every class has a default constructor. Not true. The default constructor is a no-R constructor. That is true. Next question. Analyze the following code. So this is the code, the constructor here, A, but A does not have a no-R constructor. That's the problem. The program has a compile error because A is not a public class. No, this is okay. They're in the same file, so this should be fine. The program has a compile error because class A does not have a default constructor. That is true. The program compiles and it runs fine and prints nothing. No, the program would compile and run if you change this line and this line and with this. Yes, so you have the right constructor. That is right. Next question. Given the declaration, thus, which of the following statements is most accurate? X contains an int value. No, X contains an object of the so-called type. No, X contains a reference to a so-called object. That is right. X is a reference. You can assign int value to X. No. Next question. Which of the following statements are correct? A reference variable is an object. No. A reference variable reference to an object. That's right. A data field in a class must be of primitive data type. No. A data field in a class can be of an object type. That is true. Next question. Analyze the following code. So this is here X data field, and this is the constructor here, and we get this constructor. That's right. And so this is print test, and here system.out.print and invoke this test dot this and print this value of X. Let's see all the choices. A, the program has a compile error because system.out.print method cannot be invoked from the constructor. No, this is okay. B, the program has a compile error because X has not been initialized. No, this has a default value. The program has a compile error because you cannot create an object from the class that defines the object. No, this is fine. So you have the class and you have the main, and you can use this new test. The program has a compile error because test does not have a default. Yes, that's right. So here, new test, and you don't have a default constructor here. That's the issue right here. Next question. Analyze the following code. So here is X, and this is the one here. And now you have a test is null, and this is test.x. So you don't have an object. So this is null point exception. And the program has a compile error because test is not initialized. So this is test is initialized to null. The program has compile error because X has not been null. The program has compile error because you cannot create an object from the class. No, the program has compile error because test does not have null. So the issue is right here. The program has a runtime null pointer exception because test is null while executing test.x. Next question. The default value for data field of a Boolean type, numeric type, object type is, for Boolean type is false, numeric value is 0 and null. So that is B. B is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following statements are true? Local variables do not have default values. That is right. Only the data fields you can have default values. Data fields have default values. That's true. A variable of a primitive type holds a value of primitive type. Yes. A variable of reference type holds a reference to where an object is stored in the memory. That's true. You may assign an int value to a reference variable. No, that is not right. Next question. Analyze the following code. This is radius is double, and this is final double is constant, and this is the area, and this display the area. A, the program has compile errors because the variable radius is not initialized. That is right. It's not initialized. It's a local variable. The program has a compile error because constant pi is not defined. Is defined inside a method. Yeah, you can define inside a method. The program has no compile errors because, but we'll get a runtime error. So because radius is not initialized, that is actually yes, that's true. That's a runtime error. The program compiles and runs fine. So the correct answer is C. Next question. Which of the following creates an object of the date class? So this is new java.ut.date. Yes, it does. And B, yes, and here it does create it. Okay, so the answer is both A and B. So they both, and this one, in this case, it creates the object, but it doesn't assign to a reference variable. It's unreferenced. Which of the following statements are correct? When creating a random object, you have to specify the seed or use the default seed. Yes, this is correct. If two random objects have the same seed, the sequence of random numbers obtained from these two objects are identical. Correct. The next int method in the random class returns the next random int value. Correct. The next double method in the random class returns the next random double values. That's also correct. Next question. To obtain the distance between points, there's 2 points. You can use this, or what is this method? It's not defined. So use this is going to be fine. New point to D distance. Look at the book, and this is also okay. So this is the point to D objects, and this is fine. The other way around, and this is fine. So those are correct answers. Next question. A method that is associated with an individual object is called an instance method. What is the output of the second print line statement in the main method? So this is second, and you have f2 point I, f2. So this is the object here. So when you create the first one here, so I plus I is instance data field. S is a static data field. So this, I is tied to individual full object. So F1, and this F1, F2 here, F2 dot I is, it's going to be 1. And F2 dot S is going to be 2 because this is second time. The first time is 1, the second time it becomes 2. So that's it. Next question. What code may be filled in a blank right here without causing syntax or runtime errors? So you create this object test from this test class, and now you invoke test test.date. Test.date. This is null, so this is going to have a runtime error. And just to test that, no, just the date, you cannot use this date. This is you have to, this is static and cannot reference date. You have to use test.date, test.date. So this is test.date. No, I cannot even invoke this toString because this is the null. Date.toString. So you can do this, the first one, test.date. You're going to print actually the value is null. So this is here. Next question. You should add the static keyword in the place. Here's a question mark. In which line? So here, this is square, and you compute the square of this n, and you don't need any instant data. So this is here. This line 4 is good. And this one get edge. You need to, this has to be an instance. So line 4 is the answer. Next question. To declare a constant max length as a member of the class, you write final static double. So this is the one. This is incorrect. You have to put an F right here. Next question. Analyze the following code. So here's the code. You assign 2 to n. And this is the print n. So here, n internally here inside this method, it's incremented, but outside it's not. So this n is still 2. So here, what is n? N is still 2. Next question. What is the output of the third print statement in the main method? So here, this one here. You have I as instant, as static. So after this 3 times, and this is the S is going to be 3. So this one here, this 3, but this f3.i is 1. So here is this. f3.i is 1, f3.s is 3. Next question. Suppose X method is invoked in the following constructor in a class. X method is a static this can be either static or instant. You can invoke this X method. So this will be fine. Next question. Suppose X method is invoked from a main method in a class as follows. X method. So this X method has to be a static. Variables that are shared by every instance of a class are class variables, static variables. Next question, analyze the following code. So here's the code in class. So this is the in class. Here is T, and this one here is in C. This is the object that T and plus plus assigned to this. So this is okay, and looks like this should be fine. So this is the static equate object that access it. And let's look at these questions here. The program has a compile error because the end class it has a private constructor. Oh, it has a private constructor, right. You can do this because it has a private constructor here. So that's the correct choice. Next question, analyze the foreign code. This is T. So here you want to print T, but it is static. So this is not right. The variable T, T is non-static. It cannot be referenced in a static context in the main. So that should be C. Next question, analyze the foreign code and choose the best answer. So here's X, and this is the object, foo, and now foo.x. So let's look at this. Since X is private, it cannot be accessed from object foo, but it's in the same class, so this should be fine. B, since X is defined in the class foo, it can be accessed by any method inside the class without using an object. No, you have to use object, but because it's instance data field. Since X is an instance variable, it cannot be directly used inside a main method. However, it can be accessed through an object such as foo in this case. That is correct. Next question, to prevent a class from being instantiated, you can use private modifier on the constructor. Next question, which is the advantage of encapsulation? Only public methods are needed. No, make the class final causes, no, doesn't make any sense here. C, it enables changes to the implementation without changing a class contract, and it causes no consequential changes to other code. That is right. Let's look at D. It enables changes to class contract, no, without changing, no. It doesn't change the contract, and you can change the implementation. Next question, which of the following statements are true? A, use the private modifier to encapsulate data fields. That's right. Encapsulating data fields makes the program easy to maintain. That's right. Encapsulating data fields makes the program short. No. D, encapsulating data fields helps prevent programming errors. Yes. Next question. Suppose you wish to provide an accessor method to a Boolean property finished. What should be the signature of this method? It should be is finished. So that's the one. That's using is, not get, because it's Boolean. Next question. Encapsulation means the data fields should be declared private. Yes. That a class can be extended, extend another one. No. That a variable of a supertype. No. That the class can contain another class. No, this is the one here. Next question. What is the value of my count displayed? So here is my count, and this is times. And so here increment, and this is my count. So now what is this? This one here, my count initially, this is 0. And so increment, you're going to increase the count. How many times is 100 times? So it's going to be So it's a 0, and you add 100 times, that's going to be 100. So after this, and this is going to be 100, that's B. Okay, this is the same code and asking for the times, I think. What's the value of times displayed? So what is times? Times is not going to be changed because still 0. And every time you invoke it, you make changes here inside, but outside, this is not, because this is passed by value. It doesn't change the value of times here out here. So times still 0. Next question. What is the output of the following program? This is a new date. And here, so we have date reference variable and M1 date. So here's M1 date. M1 date, you assign a new date object to this date, but you're not changing the date here. Okay, still here. So what is the get time? And get time is still this. And now M2 date. M2 is you're going to set a new date. So this is set a new date. So it's going to be, this is here, the first one. The second one is this 7. So this is the one. This is the first, and this is the second. The second, you set a new value in date object. Next question. When invoking a method with an object argument, the reference of the object is passed. So that's the one. Given the declaration of this array of circles, which of the following statements is most accurate? X contains an array of 10 int values. No, X contains an array of 10 circle objects of the circle type. It's not accurate. X contains a reference to an array, and each element in the array can hold a reference to a circle object. That's the one. Okay. Next question. Assume this dates. So this is an array of dates. Which of the following statements are true? Dates is no. And this is, and dates bracket 0 is no. Yes, that's right. And this dates of this, yes, you can do this, assign to this, which assigns new array to dates. That's okay. And this one here, no, this is a single object. You cannot assign to array a reference variable. Next question. Which of the following statements are true about an immutable object? The contents of an immutable object cannot be modified. That's right. Immutable cannot be changed. All properties of an immutable object must be private. Yes. All properties of immutable objects must be of primitive types. No. A readable object type property in an immutable object must also be immutable. Yes. An immutable object contains no mutate methods. That's right. Next question. What is the output of the first print statement in the main method? So here, two static variables I, j. So now I is now here. It's a new definition for this I local variable, and a k is 3. And this j is 3. So first print, this is the one. I plus j is, and please note that this is string you add, and this is the integer, this is the I is convert it into a string and concatenate with this string. So this is 2, and this j is 0. This is 3 here, and 2, 3. So I plus j is 2, 3. So that's the answer. Next question, and this is the same code, the second print. The second print is this is the second print for k. K is this k. It's I plus j. So I is 2, j is 3. That's 5. I is 2. So what is j? Oh, this is the block. So scope is only here, and j is 0, and that should be 2. So I is 2 and j is 0. Next question. What is the output for the third print statement? What is j? So what is j? J is 0. So that's j. J is 0. Next question. You can declare 2 variables with the same name in different blocks, in different methods in a class. That's fine. In the next one here, let's see. Two nested blocks in a method. No, cannot be nested one. No. This is a different methods in a class. That's fine. Next question. Analyze the following code. This is double radius. This is constructor. So we're going to assign radius to radius. No, this is incorrect. The program has a compile error because it does not have a main method. No, this is not right. The program will compile, but you cannot create an object of circle with a specified radius. Yes, the object will always be 0, and that's right. So that's yeah, because you have to use this here. The program has a compile error because you cannot assign radius to radius. No, it's not a compile error. The program does not compile because circle does not. This is the answer is B. The object will always have this radius 0 when you use this constructor, because you just radius to radius, not to this radius. Next question. Which of the following can be placed in the blank line in the following code? So is this ID. You can do this. Okay. It's instance variable. Next question. Analyze the following code. So we have this double I private, and this is the constructor. All right, so let's see here. This dot t may be replaced by just calling t. Yes, you can do this. This is fine. This is unnecessary. This dot. This dot I may be replaced. No, you have to have explicitly have this dot I because this is I. This one. All right, here we have this one must be called before. Yes, it must be called. This has to be the first statement before this. This one must be replaced by this 1.0. Well, it's not needed because this is still fine. This is the one integer passed to double. That's allowed. All right, we got all the questions answered. Let's check if we have all this correct. So click on this. We have 4 incorrect ones. Let's check them out. All right, so let's look at this here. Analyze the following code. We have radius and have this. And so here, the program has no compile errors. Oh, the program, all right. So this is actually, it's a compile error. So the compiler can detect this. It's not initialized, so it needs to be initialized. So this is the case here. All right, so let's look at next error, this one. To declare a constant max length as a number, as a member of the class, you write final static. This should be the one. Okay, that's E, right. I missed this. Let's look at the next one here. Is what is printed here is N is, so here. See, it says has a compile error because X method is not declared static. Oh, that's right. So here is a static. You cannot invoke it. So this has to be static, right? Okay, that's right. That's the, and so now there's one more here. Okay, so I think I just, some counting issue here. It says 100 here. Oh, this is the one. So here's the count. When you create this count, its count is 1. So then you do add 100 times. So this is 101. Okay, missed this. All right, I got it. All the others correct. So this are all the questions in chapter 9. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.